What is vector? In elementary mathematics, physics and engineering, a Euclidean vector is a geometric object has both of magnitude or length and direction. A mathematical expression possessing magnitude and direction, which act according to parallelogram law. What are vectors in engineering? Vectors are used in engineering mechanics to represent quantities that have both a magnitude and a direction. Many engineering quantities such as force, displacement, velocity, and acceleration will need to be represented as a vector for analysis. Vector quantity. Quantities that have magnitude and direction. Example of vector quantities are displacement, velocity, direction, momentum, force, weight, and other. Scalar quantity. Quantities that have magnitude only. Common example of scalar quantities are time, speed, temperature, and volume. Quantities or scalar parameter have no directional component, only magnitude. For example, unit for time, minute, day, hours. Represent total time only and does not tell the direction. An additional example of the scalar quantity is density, mass, and energy.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Azim bin Adlan. I will present about vector in real life. When describe the movement of an airplane in flight, it is important to communicate two pieces of information: the direction in which the plane is traveling and the plane speed. When measuring a force, such as the thrust of the plane engines, it is important to describe not only the strength of that force, but also the direction in which it is applied. Some quantities such as force are defined in terms of both size and direction. A quantity that has magnitude and direction is called a vector. A vector in a plane is represented by a direct line segment. The endpoint of the segment are called the initial point and the terminal point of the vector. An arrow from the initial point to the terminal point indicates the direction of the vector. The length of the line segment represents its magnitude. We use the notation to denote the magnitude of the vector. A vector with an initial point and terminal point that are the same is called the zero vector. Zero vector. The zero vector is the only vector without a direction, and by convention can be considered to have any direction convenient to the problem at hand. Vectors with the same magnitude and direction are called equivalent vector. We treat equivalent vector as equal even if they have different initial point. Each arrow has the same length and direction. A closely related concept is the idea of parallel vector. Two vectors are said to be parallel if they have a same or opposite direction. We explore this idea in more detail later in the chapter. A vector is defined by its magnitude and direction, regardless of where its initial point is located.
Today, I would like to talk about some questions that have vector in it. The diagram may show the Umarash Airline Enterprise helicopter movement from their base. Each area visited is represented alphabetically, namely A, B, C, D, E, and F. Given AAB is 20x, ED is 24y, and DC is 25x minus 24y. AE is 1/3 ED. The region B, F, and D are in line. Find the distance travelled from the B to F in the expression of X and Y. Now, we will move to the answer. First step, we must get all the relevant information from the question that have been provided. And the second step, make the equation like BF1 equals to BF2 and break it into two parts, which is X and parts Y. And step 3, solve one of the equation BF with a newly obtained information. And It's only 3 easy steps to answer this question. Thank you.
The conclusion of this presentation about vector quantities have magnitude and directions. Resultant vector is found by adding component vector one after another or by a parallelogram method in a scale diagram. Sign, negative and positive can apply to a vector. Example, weight, force, positions, velocity and acceleration. Vector averaging reduce sensitivity of mean cube data significantly. Define uniform and non-uniform motion. Thank you.